new distributor in. This is going to be number 1 right here. You can pretty much choose where you want it to be depending on how you put it in. I'm hoping that when I get it to the 6 or 10 or 6 or 8 before top dead center, this will be lined up a little better. Not a big deal. Timing mark is right on. And I am building up the wire looms. I've got cut the fit wires. I always like doing those because you can make them look hella nice. I ran into a problem with the evaporator core. This doesn't have AC on it anymore, but the core's still in the way. So I had to modify this loom a little bit. I really don't need the top bracket in there to hold the wire in that groove. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to, another thing, a trick that I did with these is I just put some O-rings on here to stop these spacers from falling out while I'm setting the wires. When I get the wires cut the length and the looms made, I will pull those out, the O-rings out, and then bolt it on properly then. So it should be smooth sailing from here on out. Well, I'm doing the wires now. I always buy them cut the length, and I'll show you why in a minute. I lay them out to size. They usually come in pairs: long, medium, small, smallest. I dry fit all this together, and then they send you little number bands that put on there. And I get it all set up the size down here, bring it around, and I put the number band back right on the terminal. And then what I'll do is I'll cut it long so that I can strip it back and then crimp the terminal on there, and then the wire should be right to size. The way I do this is it's a pain in the ass, and this is the longest part of doing this job. Literally, I'll have 2.5 hours into this, if not more. I loosen these up as much as I can, and I feed the wire in. I get my length set coming off the spark plug, and then feed the wire into each one of these in a round. It is literally a pain in the ass to do it that way. I guess I could put the wires in first and leave it loosed. You know what? I'm going to try it that way, and I'll get back with you and tell you which way works better. Either way, it takes forever to do this. Okay, route 2 is the way to go. I got all the wires in here, and I just left these loose so that I can feed them through to set these links here. I've already got the numbers on the wires. It took about 15 minutes off the process. Always try different ways. Just ask my wife. Point of no return. I've started snipping wires. I hope this isn't a $170 mistake. Time to make the wires. What I've done is I have these facing up, so that when I know to put the boot on, the boot will face down from it. Be careful, these spin around. They make a cool little slicer here to cut the ends of the wires. There's 2 sizes, a small and a big. We are going to be using the big. Also, if you can see, it goes to the end, or there's a lip right here. If you're using this type end, you're going to bring the wire into this and cut. If you're using that type end, you're going to bring the wire to the very end. You don't want to cut inside of it. What I do is I just kind of spin it around a little bit. Try to go all the way around if you can. Well, no, you are going to go all the way around. You don't have a choice, or it's not going to want to come off. And then you just spin it, and then there you go. Now I'm going to do this to each one of these wires, and then I'll come back and show you how I crimp it. I got ahead of myself. We got to get these boots on first, and they're a pain in the, you know what. I take a little dielectric grease, put it on there. What the hell just hit the ground? Who the hell knows? Okay, it's going to take some effort. I talked about lining up the numbers up above. What I've done is I've also aligned it with the writing so that the writing's coming up top. Kind of looks cool when you open up the hood and everything looks uniform like that. But anyways, so I'll slide the number back. You're gonna force this in here. And this is where the wire really needs a little bit of Crohn's disease. It would help get this in to make that bend. Sometimes it goes in easy, and other times it does not. I don't know if there's a good way to do this or not. I don't like to do this, but every now and then I'll have to get a pair of needle nose in here just to get it to make the bend. You don't want to, you want to grab the outside of the wire, not the end of it. Here we come, it's coming. This is why, another reason I say it takes so long to make up these wires. There we go. Hey, 6 more times. Now for the easy part. Yeah, right. Okay. When you stick these in here, you're going to put them in so that the conductor part is going to be eventually crimped in that. So you have the wire slide all the way in. If you have these cut too long, the conductor part's going to stick in where the spark plug goes and you're not going to get a good seat. So make sure that this part's not too long. The way the crimping works is, once again, be aware of the location of your boot. That's going to go on like that, corresponding to your boot. When you go to crimp this part is gonna fall on the floor. Hold on, yeah, I found it. You're gonna need to do a pre-crimp with these. So once again, line up that way. Make sure you're seated and give this a little bit of a pre-crimp. And the reason why is it's not going to want to go into the form that way. See, now it'll go in there a lot better. I'm going to have this be right at the edge. There's the top and bottom. Where the tab is, that's going to be the top. Be sure you've got all of the crimping area in there. Slide that down. Goes in the vise. And the first crimp is done. I just got to get it back apart. Jeez. Now you know why it takes so long to make your own wires. Okay. Now I've got this piece right here. Push that down in there the best you can. I don't know if you saw, but when I crimped that, it sucked some of that in a little bit. Thinking I'm going to need different type of pliers on this one because that's pretty tight. Yeah, I need to tighten up that a little more. I'll get back with you. Okay, getting ready to start it up for the first time. Just gonna put the timing light on it, but I don't see the battery. I'll have to get a voltmeter out and see if that's full-time voltage. So in the meantime, what I've done is I put a vacuum gauge on it. Let's see how close I got. I'd say close. I need to move the distributor a little bit. You'll see the vacuum get better. There we go. It's smoothing out too. Like I said, this thing hasn't ran late timing. That gauge is from the 70s or 80s, so I don't know how accurate that is. But let me get the timing light on it and get this set to where it needs to be for sure. It already sounds better. Yeah. Okay, the stock book shows that it should be set about 8 degrees before top dead center. It's running better around 14 degrees. I set it at 10 right now. I have no idea what engine's in this car. But now I got it running. I got the timing set to 10. I'm going to do a carburetor adjustment on this. The first thing I'm going to do is back this off all the way. And look what happened. That did not even that throttle plate. Wow. Something weird's going on here. The way you adjust this is you're supposed to turn it till it just hits the throttle plate, and it just did right now. Give it a full turn. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the idle screws in as far as they'll go. Oh man, that was adjusted jackassed. Okay, I'm going to go a turn and a half out. 1, 2. That was bizarre. That was really bizarre. That plate wasn't even open. Okay. That side was not anywhere near what the other side was. 1 and a half. Let's see what's going on here. That concerned me. I think I got the carburetor adjusted properly now. Okay, I think the next thing to do is I'm going to let this warm up for a little bit. Get a tack on this and adjust the idle. I'm going to go out on a limb and say my timing light's broken. So I got that zeroed out and it's running great at 25 degrees before top dead center. The second I put the vacuum gauge on it and set the timing with that too. It's running better right now. The big thing is to take it out and see if it spark knocks. If it spark knocks, then I gotta bring the timing down. But I'm thinking my 2-year warranty, this is out of its 2-year warranty. What I did with this is I adjusted this. Well, it's about halfway open. And then on both sides, you tighten it up. It's running like crap. I just back it off to where it starts to run better. And I do that for both sides. That's how I get the carburetor adjusted. I am thinking that this carburetor is too big for this engine because this thing's sucking a lot of fuel down. A lot of fuel. Let's go take it out, see what it does. Okay, let's see how this thing does. Rides like a 70s car, sounds like a 70s car. It's night and day from when I got it. What I'd like to do is do an old school tune. When he gets some plates put on this thing, I'm going to take it out to a paved road, and I'll bump up the timing until I start hearing spark knock, and then I'll back it out, because I don't know what's been done to this engine, what kind of cam it's got in it, none of that. I think it's too big of a carb too, to be honest. Oh yeah, turbo 400. I think this is a 3-speed. It's a lot better than it was. Well, that beauty just came on. That's nice. I wonder what rusted out brake line did that, or is causing that. I'll take a look at this. Yay! Fun little snappy car. I just checked the master cylinder. There's plenty of brake fluid in there. It doesn't look like the sensor is on the master cylinder, so it's probably on the proportioning valve, and it's probably somewhere right there. Or I could have a problem with emergency brake switch. I'm not going to get into this right now. It's too hot. I'm going to let it cool down. It's 2:30. It's in the middle of the day, so I don't want to start off real strong. I'll go old school.